Hello and welcome to Buildings of Tomorrow. My name is John Lester, and in today's episode, we are talking about BACnet, that master of all building communication protocols. I'm joined today by Alina Matyukhina, who is a product manager for cybersecurity at Siemens Smart Infrastructure. Alina, how are you today?
Hi, John. I'm fine. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Now, we had a quick conversation in a previous episode around communication protocols or building protocols. These languages, these structures that are used by systems to pass information, where they started, how much the world has changed around them since they were developed, and some of the challenges that today's connected buildings and the connected world we live in, some of the challenges that brings up for these protocols. And I wanted to talk today specifically about BACnet, because BACnet is, at least from a building perspective, one of the most important protocols or the most prevalent protocols. Could you give us, myself and the audience, a bit of an introduction into BACnet, what it is, and why it's so important for us?
Yeah, sure. So BACnet, it started in 19th, and that days it was a high demand of energy efficiency in the buildings. Also, a high increase of numbers of new constructions. So building manufacturers, they created more building products and systems. Unfortunately, these very complex equipment, they were very hard for end customers to understand, and also, I would say, imagine. All these manufactured devices, they were proprietary. They used the proprietary protocols. So device from one manufacturer couldn't communicate with device from another manufacturer. Of course, for customers, it was a problem. And this actually brings opportunity for organizations to create a common standard, a common protocol which will allow different devices from different manufacturers to communicate to each other. And ASHRAE, American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers, they developed BACnet. Right now, BACnet accepted by NC and ISO organizations, like a common standard for interoperability between devices. And I would say that more than 1,000 of manufacturers, they're using BACnet. So it's pretty common protocol. Yeah, and if we look on the market, for example, near 60%, BACnet has near 60% of share of global building automation market today.
Wow. So not only was it developed by an industry body, which is always a good start, because it's independent and
Exactly.
they look at the requirements of the industry, not individual manufacturer requirements. So that's always a good place for things to begin. But it's grown to 60% of the industry. So that's a huge portion, which is the reason we're talking about it, I guess.
Exactly.
So that's where BACnet came from, and I assume, and please comment for us, how BACnet would have similar challenges with this change and this higher level of connectivity, integration, the sharing of information, and some of the cybersecurity challenges that come with that would have similar challenges to the other protocols and communication standards that are used within buildings. How does that affect BACnet today?
So, like you said, like any other protocol, BACnet lacking of built-in security features. For example, there is no encryption, so no confidentiality. All the messages in a building network, they can be read in clear text. So attacker will see all the communication which is happening between devices. Also, there is no authentication. For example, there is well-known attack which is called write property attack. It's attack on BACnet property objects, which allow attacker to switch on or switch off devices in a building, in facility. And now imagine, of course, if, for example, this building is hospital, to switch on or switch off devices, it will be, I would say, a disaster or any other critical infrastructure. So of course, we really need to have a more secure solution how to protect building protocols.
Yeah, so BACnet, it has that same history as many of the other protocols. It was developed in a time when this high level of connection and connectivity was not imagined even. It was created with the idea to share information as easily and quickly as possible, which is what you describe as this openness.
Exactly.
There's no real authentication or built-in certification characteristics within that language, and then that means today for a BACnet system, we employ those kind of standard approaches to secure a system that you described in a previous episode, like VPNs, IT/OT segregation, and this kind of stuff to make these systems up to the level of security expected and required within these kinds of buildings.
Exactly. There are a lot of choices to choose how to secure your building networks, but most of these choices, they are pretty costly or not future-proof anymore. So we really need to have a solution built in communication protocols.
Understand. And this is where the big question comes, because there is a change happening in BACnet, or there's the description. Can you give us an insight and introduction into this huge change for BACnet, the protocol?
Exactly. So I'm so happy that industry introduced right now BACnet Secure Connect, which is a more secure way to protect building networks. It has so many security features in it, and also it's have a backward compatibility with already existing installations. So I think this is a huge step forward in security of building automation.
Absolutely, and we'll definitely dive into more detail. I think that's another whole topic for us, but it's interesting to hear that that's a step that the ASHRAE organization and the industry as a whole is taking with BACnet. Is this something that we're seeing in the industry in general? So more of these protocols starting to put more focus on this cybersecurity aspect of communication and passing information?
Sure. For example, I know also KNX, they're developing KNX IoT standard, will be more secure also. And yeah, in future, I really hope that other protocols will also take this trend and create more secure, protocols.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, John.
And thank you also to everyone listening. Please feel free to like, share, comment on this episode, subscribe to us here on this channel or any other channel where you feel like grabbing the episodes that we're releasing every week. Don't forget that there's also a heap of videos on our YouTube channel and playlist. So search Buildings of Tomorrow and you can find some videos there. Otherwise, we have a lot more to talk about around BACnet Secure Connect. So Alina and I will be back for another episode in the very near future. We'll see you soon.
See you.